Yeah, you wanna put that dish in your mouth.
Wish you could slide into my mind and make me mine. Push play rewind. Let's whip outside, and so am I.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dylan B. Dickerson White, Mr. Trans USA 2022, and we're here today to do our interview with our Mr. Trans Virginia candidate, Hunter Morgan. So this may be one of those questions that's kind of silly, but I think that because we know each other, but what made you interested in Trans USA overall? Don't say me.
Well, I didn't know that there was a pageantry system until you, and then we talked a little bit, and I read some things about the system, and it just seems like a very good system to be included in, and it would be awesome to meet trans folks from around the world and make connections and make family.
That's really one of the things that made it really happy for me to be involved with this, meeting so many people from around the country, and I think you're gonna get a great experience out of that. So, with that said, we're talking about the title itself, the system. Like, what does if you hear the name Mr. Trans USA for you? If you were to get that title, like, what does that mean to you? What does that represent?
It really represents that I did it, and now I have the platform to show all the other trans boys who may be scared to come out or may be scared to take that step into pageantry or take that step into performing that if I could do it, you could do it. Because I'm a chunky trans boy from around West Virginia, Pennsylvania area who doesn't get the most support in this area. So if I can go and get a title like that, anybody could do anything they put their mind to.
I think that's kind of like the most amazing thing is that we're showing all those people, you're showing all those people that you can be elevated that same way.
Exactly.
And I think that, yeah. So I want to kind of ask this question because I know that I love animals. Everybody loves animals. And I've had to, because today I've had to round up the little dogs and make sure they're not bothering us. If you could have any sort of weird, atypical pet, what would that be?
A sloth. I think that would be right. Yeah, a sloth.
You
It
know, I
would
never
match
thought
my
of
energy.
I know that's a lie. I've seen you perform.
I mean, it would match my energy outside of Hunter.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, I personally want right now an otter, and
yeah,
I
those are
think
cute.
Jack said the same thing.
Yeah, those are cute.
Makes total sense. What did you say the biggest misconception people have about those issues specifically within the trans community? Like, we talk about issues with medical things like stroke, we talk about autism, we talk about body positivity. So I think I want to focus on the last part. As a trans person, our definitions of body positivity are always a little bit different. What do you think that people don't get about that for trans people?
I know people think that when I perform and strip off my shirt or take off my pants, I'm doing it for attention, but in reality, I'm doing it because I used to perform when I had to bind, and that was not a good time. And now I feel free in my body, and absolutely nobody's going to take that away from me. People just don't understand what I mean. Some say that they understand, but they really don't understand because I could be having a dysphoric episode before I go on stage and turn that completely off and then come backstage and hate myself.
Yeah.
Like, it's just give or take.
Right. And It's one of the things that it's not on here, but it's something we kind of like always talk about, the groups of us, that what we put on stage is just a few minutes, and maybe that's that few minutes that we also get to feel that way too.
Yep.
And then they don't know all the mental processes and hoops to jump through to be there.
100%.
So I want to shift a little again from this question. So I know it's my experience. You say that the experience with performing as an autistic person helps you connect with people.
Yeah.
Would you want to like be able to describe maybe like how?
So outside of Hunter, I'm very quiet and I stay to myself unless I know you very well. Hunter is the exact opposite of that. He will come out on stage and high kick and twirl and literally let people touch him. But outside of that, don't touch me. Like, I get really weird. Like, it's hard to put in words how performing makes me feel, other than it makes me feel like I'm being accepted for a moment.
For that. But when we talk about being out there, somebody seeing you and the message you want to send, if there is any sort of message that, let's say, you want to give younger trans people and their families right now, because there's a lot going on for trans families.
Yeah.
What do you think you'd want to say?
Being that I don't get supported from my own family, my advice would be love them each moment of the day. You don't have to agree with what they're doing, but you kind of have to accept it because that is who they are. Like with my mother, I'll give this example. She still calls me my dead name, and yeah, she tells me she doesn't accept it or agree with it, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you have to live life for yourself and just continue to be you, and the sky's the limit. I started transitioning when I was 18 years old, and I'm now going to be 26 next month.
That's
So
yeah, and that itself's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
To be continuing to be yourself, and especially what's going on now. So I think that's an important message for people to hear, that and the families and people going through the experience.
Yeah.
So is there anything that makes you nervous about competing this year?
Yes.
I mean, that is the answer, right? But no, what would be the main thing you'd say?
Modeling again on stage. I have a hard time with that. And I don't know why. It's just like when I go, it's like performing and pageants do different things for me. I have a hard time with like evening wear and modeling and stuff like that. And I've been working on it, but
It's
that's
something
what
that
I'm nervous about.
we're all going to be getting some coaches in there and helping you guys out. But and this is for anybody who is also interested in competing and who may have trouble modeling. This is a fun little tip that I've learned. You can practice that same thing in the same headspace you are in performing. You're doing it. For me, it's that character still. Like I know that you and I both, we're not serious people on stage most of the time.
No.
So that's the hard part for me too, is being serious about it. And I will say that this experience with Trans USA was the first time I didn't even feel like I had to act with modeling. It just felt so natural. And I think that once you're out there as yourself, it's going to be a different modeling experience.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah. So that's kind of a really good segue, if you will. When I say the phrase trans excellence, this pageantry is all about trans excellence. What does that phrase mean to you?
Trans excellence. It means living your most authentic self every day, 365 days a year, doing what you want to do for yourself. Yeah, I mean, authentically living as yourself. I've had this conversation before with other trans performers that I know, and we both agree. Like, it's about being yourself.
Speaking of goals, I mean, I know I'm broke all the time. So
Same.
I always think about this question, like, what would I do? So what goal would you have, or what would you do if I just said you have $10,000? Like, what would you do with it right now?
Well, I know I would probably donate some of it to some of the causes that I stand for. But I would probably try to elevate my drag a little bit. And then pay some bills.
Right. As
Um,
people are our generation, we're just like, we just pay bills. It's fine.
yeah, I just need to pay my bills. But yeah, probably most of it would go to like the American Suicide Foundation, and I'd probably try to find a stroke survivor thing. But actually, I would donate it to my drag sister.
Yeah. And I know this may not be something you want to talk about. If not, it's fine. I can edit this out. But if you're comfortable talking more about that,
Yeah.
would you want to say what happened, or why why you would do that?
So about a month ago, my drag sister Fabresia had a stroke, and it's probably been the hardest month of my life. This is actually her shirt. That's my best friend at the end of the day, and I got to talk to her the other day. She currently is in physical therapy and speech therapy. She's talking a little bit, and she has a tracheotomy in, but they're trying to send her to rehab and everything to get her together. But she's a drag queen. She's been a drag queen for many years, many moons now. She also competed with me at Gay United States at Large. That was kind of a sibling thing we did together. We made the running joke, what if we both win? Then two Morgans would be reigning Gay United States at the moment. But we joked about that all the time. And then when I got the call that she had the stroke, I kind of was like, what? She's being shady. I know this ain't real. But then it was real. But I would donate most of the money to my sister because she'll need it.
Yeah. Heavy, obviously, and I'm sorry, but I thank you for, at least sharing that. So I think that this is a question I ask a lot in the interviews because it is something we fight every day. So if there were, what would you say if you had to pick one issue about the biggest misconception that people have about trans people, whether it be within the LGBTQ community or externally? There's like a big misconception or educational issue.
Okay. So within the LGBT, I'll do both, outside and inside the LGBT community, because I'm in the middle of both. So in the LGBT community, a lot of them think that trans men and women are fetishes, and that's a big issue to me within this community. Or they think we are doing it to, I know a lot of people have said to me, you only transitioned because you wanted attention. And I was like, no.
Like, this is not the attention that we would want, right?
Not at all. And I know outside the community, it's still the fetish thing. Because I know a lot of straight men are like, oh, I've always wanted to sleep with a trans boy. Well, find another trans boy. Because it's not happening. And a lot of people just don't understand, like, I would say, toll that the testosterone takes on our body at first, and then all the numerous surgeries we go through just to feel like ourselves. And, like, the attention thing really gets me.
Yeah.
Like,
because
I'm not doing this for attention at all.
I don't think, when we talk when someone says that, it's like the kind of attention we're getting right now. Nobody would
Hmm.
honestly choose to be treated that way.
No, not at all.
I think that highlighting that issue is really important. So, um, so this has been like a really heavy focused conversation. So I don't know, we both have our ways we deal with stress. So what do you do to relax for fun?
I listen to music usually, and listen to music. Um, that's basically what I do. I love all types of music. Sometimes I dance around my apartment, but I just lay here sometimes and listen to music. Any music, really.
What's your favorite song to like dance around to when you're getting ready and getting pumped up?
Lately, it's been Commander by Kelly Rowland.
Okay. I like that. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a song that you'd like. It's called I'm totally blanking on the name. It's a song by Set It Off. Catch Me If You Can. It's all
Yeah.
about I'm being successful. And I think that was my main motivator for running, every time I was listening to that. So there's like basically just two more questions that I wanted to
Yeah.
kind of throw out there. We always talk about those issues that we mentioned, the bathroom issues, the heavy political issues. And as people who work in the community all the time, we always focus, I feel like, on problems and the next issue to fix. And there's this wrong, and I have to constantly worry about that. But there are other things that going on that are really positive in the community. So what would you say is going right within or for us?
Well, I know that the president's like pro-trans people, so I feel like that's a step in the correct direction. Luckily, the marriage rights weren't taken away, so that's a good thing. Everybody thought that was going to happen again, but it did not. Thank God. Yeah. I mean, not that I'm getting married, but I'm happy for everybody that is getting and wants to get married.
So even beyond that, like jumping off that part, what about for you? What's going right for you?
I'm getting booked out of state, so that's fun. I have now 3 titles.
And would you want to tell everybody what those are?
I'm Mr. Gay West Virginia, United States at Large. I'm Mr. Pride of Pittsburgh, and now Mr. Trans USH Virginia.
Nice. So yeah, 3 different states.
Yeah,
you're gonna be busy, definitely.
Absolutely.
And it's nice. As coming from, I've performed in the area that you've been in, and there's really not much in that area other than one place. So it's great to be able to see yourself in different situations and see how crowds react in different places.
Absolutely.
It's really fun.
That is.
So I think that we always talk. I think this is a really good way to end this because we focused on a lot of personal things in the interview. We talked about, some issues affecting the community, but jumping back around to the pageant. Again, we always talk about the things we want to do for the community when we win, the things we want to do for the systems. What are you hoping to get out of this experience with Trans USA?
I would like to grow as a person. I was going to say performer, but also person. I would like to make a brotherhood with people and meet my sisters too,
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to meet everybody. I just really want to conversate and meet a bunch of people. Just make friends.
You wanna put that dish in your mouth?
Hi, it's your Mr. Trans Virginia 2023. I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity to reign as Mr. Trans Virginia 2023. I also want to make the statement of my platform is basically body positivity and autism awareness and practically disability awareness, because I believe that your disability does not define you as a person, and you are valid and you are good enough to do whatever non-neurodivergent people can do. I also believe that as a trans man, I'm looked at through like a telescope, and I believe that should change in the community of performing, and that will be my goal if I were to win Mr. Trans USA.
Yeah, you wanna put that dish in your mouth.